take 3 for this one. Uh, Wanted to make my predictions for the second round of the playoffs before they start, even though the first round isn't completely over. So I'll be making my predictions based on either outcome of this series up here. If Toronto makes it through, I think they'll have a similar style from the Jets and Oilers. The Jets really surprised a lot of people by shutting down the Oilers. I think that came down to Dave Tippett, the coach for the Oilers, mismanaging his top players. He overplayed McDavid and Draisaitl a little too much, and the Jets were able to wear them down and then beat them in overtime in most cases. And I think they'll try to do a similar thing to Toronto, but Toronto has a little better depth, even though they lost Tavares and Foligno is out as well. I think Toronto's depth, their ability to just roll 4 lines, will make it a lot tougher for Winnipeg. And so in that case, I have Toronto winning in 6. But if Montreal makes it through, they'll be riding high. They'll have the momentum, and they'll come in hot. I think Price could end up stealing a couple of games because it'll probably be that he was hot in the first round that they were able to come back. But I do think that their lack of offensive threats will allow Winnipeg to open up a little bit more, and they can get a little more offense out of their guys like Scheifele and Connor and Ehlers. So in that case, I have the Jets winning it in 6. Down to the next series, this bracket doesn't have Vegas in yet, but they did win last night in Game 7. They didn't have Pacioretty for the first 6 games, and they were struggling to score. And he came in for Game 7, and they got their offense going finally. They'll need to keep that going forward in this series because Colorado looked extremely strong against St. Louis, sweeping them in 4 games. St. Louis never looked like they had a chance. But this series should be a lot closer with Vegas. These were the top 2 teams in the league. They're the top 2 Vegas betting odds. And in the regular season, they went 4-4. Each team won 4 games. One of those games was in overtime. So I have Vegas, since they have a little better defense, and if they can keep that offense going, I have them coming out on top, but it'll be back and forth the whole way and go to 7 games. On the other side, we got the Bruins versus the Islanders. The Bruins surprised me with how easily they handled Washington. I had Washington winning that series, and then I thought they would play against the Islanders, and that would be a good matchup for the Islanders to make it through. But the Bruins are a little bit of a tougher matchup for them, I think. I think the Bruins play a very similar game to the Islanders. They like to shut out their opponents and then capitalize on the chances they get. But Barry Trotz is very good at adjusting their game, and I think he'll do that against the Bruins. The one sort of asterisk there is that the Bruins have a guy like Brad Marchand who can get under their skin, and if you're a team that is very structured and needs to stick to your game plan to win, he can throw people off that and get them out of their game. But I do still have the Islanders taking it, and I'll have them win it in 6. And then down to the last series, Tampa and Carolina should be another really close, fun series. The Tampa and Florida series was high-flying, chaotic offense. The guys that were out all season for Tampa looked like they never missed a beat. I had Florida beating them because of that, but it turns out that it's not even an issue for them. And Carolina showed that their offense could break through the Predators' defense pretty easily. And so that could lead to this being another high-flying offensive series. But I do think both teams will show a little more restraint. They both like to play a possession game and limit their opponent's chances. So I think it'll be kind of like that, with probably some beautiful goals being scored in this one. This will probably lead to a lot of highlights because it'll be just so few chances, but when they are, they're going to be like the biggest chances we can see. So that should be a fun series. And I have, even though Carolina was the top seed, they seem like the underdog, and I'd like them to win this series. I don't want to see Tampa win back-to-back cups. So I got Carolina going through in 7 games. That's it for this round. I think even though it's tough to predict the series, it should be a little less surprising. We shouldn't have anything like Winnipeg against Edmonton, or even though I had it being a close series, I think the Minnesota and Vegas series was surprising to a lot of people how close it was. And also the Bruins and Capitals was a little surprising too. I think this series we kind of know what each team's going to bring a little better, and it shouldn't be too surprising in that regard. But a lot of these series will be a lot of fun and close, and we get to look forward to the next round, finally seeing some of these teams play against each other for the first time this year. So that's all I got this round. Thanks for watching.